Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Kansas City Cast. Today we are super excited. We are here at Renegade, which is a coffee shop here in Kansas City. It's in the Northland. It's one of our go-tos. We're here with the owners, Rick and Joseph. And so we're excited to sit down with them and just hear a little bit more about their story, what brought them to Kansas City, and what makes Renegade such a great place to come hang out. So thank you guys so much for being on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about just kind of your story, how you started, how kind of Renegade came to be from just an idea to the coffee shop we're sitting in today.
Sure. Really, the way back of it is my wife and I, I'm married to his daughter, and my wife and I, when we were dating, really struggled to find a place in the Northland where you could go late at night that wasn't a bar and that wasn't Perkins on North Oak. At the time, you could still smoke in Perkins on North Oak, which was pretty disgusting thing. I don't know all the time. And just had a love of coffee that developed over time, and just thought, hey, it'd be really amazing to open up a coffee shop. Rick retired from AT&T after, I can't remember how long, but after a very long time. And we started going, what would it look like if we had a library in the Northland, a library for people who were, wanting some books that maybe the libraries around here didn't have, or that were more unique. And that sort of morphed into a coffee shop / bookstore. And that's where it came for, but a coffee shop / bookstore that was open late.
Okay. Very cool. So you guys still kind of have a book element in here, right? I know it's kind of maybe transitioned now more towards the coffee side and less of the, obviously being so close to the library, get kind of the book feel there. But tell us a little bit more kind of the marriage between those two things, kind of the books and the coffee.
I think if we both had our way, we'd have way more books than we do.
Oh, sure.
But the shop is busy all the time. I know you guys are here pretty often. It's busy all the time. And so that's really compacted the number of books we have in the store. But really the goal is to have books around that foster really good conversations that people can pick up and go, what is this topic? What is this talking about? Or really good kids books that are hardbacks, the classics that maybe don't get talked about as much anymore because the new whatever is coming out. And so that's the element.
The basement was going to be more book focused, but we ended up having to do ADA bathroom and seating down there and stuff. Like all the books are up here now, so we just have to kind of change the vision a little bit just to make it work.
It's fair. Yeah. And where did the name come from?
I'll let you answer that.
We filed as coffee parlor because we thought that sort of describe a place to casually sit and have conversations over coffee, right? But it took some months to make this happen, and we kind of got bored with that idea or that name after a while. So we're just brainstorming. On my bookshelf in my study, I have a lot of books, and I had a book called Renegade, which is a life of Martin Luther. And so I just threw that out as a possibility while we were on the phone, and they kind of thought, that sounds like a good name. So that's how it came about, just a Martin Luther biography I have in mind.
Very cool.
And then the logo, the wild boar, comes from that as well, because he was called a wild boar by the Pope. And so that kind of all fit together.
Yeah.
That's really cool. This space is so unique too. This used to be like just a single family house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That now just turned coffee shop.
Yes. Yeah. Single family home all up and down North Oak that we put a lot of work into converting into a space that could be a functional coffee shop.
That's incredible. Why maybe this part of the city, when you said, hey, we want to land somewhere, we want to start a coffee shop, what made you kind of zero in on this part of the community?
So I grew up Northland, grew up Gladstone area. He lives over in the Coves off Berry Road and I-29. And so just the Northland is where our heart is. It's where family is. This is where life is lived. And for me, I live south of the river now, but for me, I looked around and thought there are dozens and dozens of coffee shops, small coffee shops all over south of the river. And the Northland really needed that space where it wasn't one of the big chains, but a small place where people could go and be. And that's why.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know we're all appreciative of that. We're all Northlanders, and finding great coffee in the Northland is doable, but not easily accessible. And as somebody who lives just a little bit north, it's great to have you guys here so I can pop in and grab a good cup of coffee.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's, like you mentioned, there's great options south of the river. Right. You hit downtown, obviously, and you've got any number of great options. But in the Northland, you can go on the south. For sure, it's a great place to pop in and get your coffee.
Yeah. And so as we kind of think about, I mean, you could have put this kind of anywhere. Why did you guys land on this particular spot?
It was for sale. We had a place picked out further down North Oak, and when we got the SBA loan money ready to go, we went to say to try and make a deal. And he said, "Oh, sorry, I just signed a contract with somebody else."
Ah.
So that same day, I just hit the road and just started driving up North Oak looking for sale signs, and this one had one.
Yeah.
Thought that could be pretty cool. It's a good spot, better than the other spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And our vision really was an old home.
Yeah.
Really?
We
Okay,
liked the division of spaces that an old home created. We liked the idea that there could be rooms where different conversations could be happening. And North Oak is one of the few places where there are those old homes that can be zoned commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you get that a little bit in downtown Parkville.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But this is pretty unique in the sense of the Northland in terms of a space that used to be home and is still in a lot of ways surrounded by single family homes, but now we have this kind of commercial corridor that kind of cuts through the heart of that.
Yeah.
So
This place was built in 1930, so it goes back a ways.
yeah,
Which was a challenge making it acceptable to the city.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's a good point. What are kind of, you opened in April of
23.
23. Okay. So it's been a little bit now.
Hmm.
What are some of kind of the biggest challenges that you faced that maybe you didn't think going in when you had the idea we would open a coffee shop? Like, I think if you're really into coffee, I'm sure most people have thought of that idea at one point in life, but you guys actually said, okay, we're actually going to do it. What are kind of the biggest challenges you may have run into?
The absolute biggest challenge was getting through some of the hurdles that the city had in place just to make sure that the space was accessible as possible.
Yeah.
So, this coffee shop is up some stairs. So there's stairs getting up into the front door, and just finding a way to make the shop as accessible as possible to anybody who would want to come in turned into a real challenge, a really, I wouldn't even describe it as a fun challenge, a hard challenge to find a way. There's a ramp out front, but even when you get up the front, there's still another step, and that step is made out of concrete. So how do you make it an accessible space that's welcoming to everybody without, one of the suggestions that we were given was like, just spend like $200,000 or $300,000 and redo the front of the shop.
Oh, wow.
That's not exactly the vision that we had in mind when we bought the space. Yep. And so that was a big challenge. And then, right as we were buying, there's always things going on in the Northland, but lots started happening behind us as well with the redevelopment of the Metro North Mall area. Not necessarily a challenge, but it's been unique to sort of see things start to change around us. And then the great thing was the library. So the library, when we bought, we didn't know that the library was going to be redone. So there was an older library there. It wasn't frequented a lot. And right after we bought, but before we got open, they let the manager next door said, "Hey, by the way, we're getting ready to remodel. And by the way, we made the decision not to put a coffee shop inside of this location. We hope you do get open." And they've been a great, I don't know if we'd call them partner. We call them a partner. Great partner of ours. Lots of customers of ours walking in the library. Lots of library people wandering over here to get cups of
and they
coffee.
let you use your parking lot, which is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will admit, from time to time, I come here and the parking lot's full. I pop over to the library and just walk over. So
They totally don't mind. They've been excited to let us do that. It's been a great relationship so far. Lots of sharing by them and lots of respect. We really appreciate them letting us use their lot.
Yeah. And and you guys have a space outside now too that's kind of newer a little bit. When did you guys put that in?
So 2 summers ago.
2 summers ago? Okay, so it's been here a little while then.
Yeah. No, that was this.
Was that last
Yeah, it was
year?
last summer. Yeah, we did that right in the winter of last year. Yeah. It was right in the middle of last year. I think maybe it was in the middle of, I don't know. It's one full season it's been out there. The shop is busy. One of the things that a home space provides, a backyard is, there's space to maybe do something else. And so how do we get some seating outside? And it's been fun. It's still evolving. We've got things, we still have a vision for doing more out there, but yeah, it's fun to have an outdoor space.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've definitely utilized it for things from time to time when we're here trying to have meetings and whatnot. And a nice day like today, you pop out there and enjoy some sunshine while you enjoy some coffee.
yeah.
So
When you can catch a nice Kansas City day, they're fewer and further between, it feels like every year. But
Either very cold or very hot, or you don't want to. Yep. But you either get an iced coffee or a hot drink, and it's okay either way.
you can do whatever makes sense with the weather.
that's right.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that Renegade is open later, and I think that's one of the things that you guys are open later most every day that you're open, yeah?
9 o'clock every day. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's one of the things I think that the Kansas City coffee scene seems to be missing. Like, not a lot of places are fitting into that time slot where it gives somebody an option to go kind of later after hours outside of like a larger chain kind of place. So that's really unique. But I guess, how do you feel like
Well, I do think that's a gap we have filled. That was one of the reasons for starting this place. It was important right off the start to have a evening hour schedule. We didn't know if anybody else had that idea or if would be empty, but it's pretty full out most evenings.
Sure.
Just, I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's probably you start to think, well, maybe there's a reason behind it, right? It's nobody going to show up after 7 p.m. or whatever it is, but there's always decaf.
There's always
That's
decaf.
There's always
Exactly.
decaf. Yep.
It did cross our minds right at the beginning. We were open and we were up here, the first 3 or 4 months, and one person would wander in and we're like, maybe this is why nobody else is open in the evening. But then it's awesome. I was up here last night and the parking lot was completely full.
Yeah.
It was 8:45. The parking lot was completely full. Every single seat was taken, and it wasn't that nice of a night. And there were even people outside on the patio. It's been really a need that lots of great conversations happening. Maybe not lots of to-go coffees happening. So maybe that's why not a lot of other shops have jumped on board, but lots of wonderful conversations happening around the space at that time.
So that's one of the gaps. The other is roasting our own beans and just wanted to have high quality coffee. We also do tea, and we'll serve it in pots. My wife and I both spent time in England during our college time, so we wanted to serve tea the way we got it in England, and so that's what we did. So that also sort of unique, I think. We present that.
Yeah. Did you start off roasting your own beans, or was it something that you brought on later?
No, right up front. Joseph got me a little home roaster to practice on in my garage.
Yeah.
So I stuck up my garage for a while. And we bought a big roaster. We had to haul back from Oklahoma City with a pickup truck.
These beans are a lot better than the home roast beans.
Okay.
A long way.
We learned a lot of
Long
beans.
way. No, it's great.
And so as you've kind of seen the business evolve over the last couple of years since you've been open, how has it changed in ways that you weren't really expecting it to take shape?
Oh, the big one for me, I like watching numbers a lot for the shop. The really big one for me has just been like watching the way prices have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, from
You like that?
I like watching it. It hasn't been fun from a shop management perspective. I think from a supplies perspective, almost everything we purchased for the shop has doubled in cost since we started this shop. Now, some of that started to level out and come back to beans more than double even for a while.
Some of them have tripled.
Some of them have tripled. And so just finding ways to manage those costs in a way that doesn't make us have to sell $11 or $12 drinks has been a really, I've enjoyed that challenge. Like, how do we sell coffee in a way that is really good, but also not 11 or 12 or, I'm exaggerating here on prices, but we want to be a place where people can afford to come in and get a cup of coffee, but also still have it good. And those fluctuations, it's been crazy.
For sure.
I think if you go just about, especially the chains, but you go quite a few other places in Kansas City, I think you notice that you hear the price at the drive-through or at the window, you're like, oh my goodness. But you need your coffee, so you pay it anyways. But yeah, I think that's something just as a consumer, I think everyone feels kind of squeezed in that area. And so finding ways to keep costs down, I think is always a benefit.
Oh yeah. To everyone.
It's not uncommon to get comments like, is that all? Is that the whole price?
Did you leave something off of my order when
Yep.
we're not trying to be the least expensive in town, but we do want to,
want to be affordable.
we want to be
Yeah.
affordable.
That makes a lot of sense. How do you feel like you've seen maybe the community as a whole rally around you since the opening?
Man, I don't know. Dude. I've just been blown away by the number of regulars. And I don't mean like, 1 or 2 or 3, but like the hundreds of people that are just regulars. And this is a part of their life and their routine. It's amazing. Like, it's a little bit overwhelming on Saturday just to see the number of people who this is part of their Saturday and they feel like it's part of their Saturday. It's really neat. And I haven't, I'm younger than Rick by a little bit, so I don't have this as often, but just the number of people who wander in and go, I went to, just the other day, I went to high school with Rick and like, I'm, or I live just down the street or, it's awesome to just see them embrace us and be part of the community.
That's been a lot of fun for me, just reconnecting with people I hadn't seen maybe in decades, but they'll wander in and, went to high school with you, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of students hang out here, especially in the evenings. I have study groups downstairs. So the student population has been really supportive.
And I think, we think about what coffee shops have kind of become in our current culture. And, we've lost our third places in so many ways. You guys, especially being where you are, have really filled a need for that third place that's not a bar, like you said, because they just don't really exist in the way that they used to, where you can come and hang out and enjoy a conversation with people, or meet a friend, or you run into a stranger who might become a friend, right? So
That's also really fun when you see it's tight in here, right? There's not as many tables as maybe we wish there were. And sometimes there's somebody sitting by themselves and people make friends because both of them want to sit here and work. And like, can I sit on the other side of this 4-foot table? And they make friends and share a table for 2 hours while they work. I've seen that a couple of times. That's really fun.
What do you think is maybe like a favorite Kansas City memory for you? I mean, you mentioned kind of growing up in the area, maybe something from your time growing up, and then maybe something that maybe is connected to the coffee shop in some way that is a really key memory that sticks out for you.
One of my favorite memories really was shared with Joseph. It was the playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
The wild card game when the Royals beat the Oakland A's. We were both there.
Yeah.
And the whole city just came together. The whole stadium came together. Everybody was high-fiving and hugging one another. It's like, who are you? Everybody is everybody's best friend. So that was a lot of fun. And that's a key memory.
Yeah. I would say that. And then the parade that we went and got stuck at. I went into that parade and just the hundreds of thousands of people that were wandering around down there. A coffee one, if I were to connect it to coffee, I would say is the first person to get me to drink black coffee. I did not grow up liking coffee, didn't grow up in a house that consumed coffee, but went to UMKC for my master's degree. And Danny O'Neill, who started Roastery Coffee, was doing an event down there. And he was talking to entrepreneurial students and he said, no, you need to come try the coffee. And I was like, no, that's gross. I'm not drinking black coffee. I don't do black coffee. And he really, he took a few minutes and was like, here's what you need to drink. Here's what you need to be tasting for. And that's a really core memory for me where I thought, that somebody took a little bit of time. Somebody who's passionate about what they do, took a little bit of time and helped me fall in love with coffee. Now I would rather you not put any sugar in my coffee at all. Like before I was like chocolate and raspberry and then extra raspberry and more chocolate so that was a pretty core memory for me.
Do you have a pretty big hand in deciding like what goes on the menu now? How does that all get determined?
Neither one of us have too big of a hand on the menu. We're both milk with coffee people. He's a flat white, and I'm an 8-ounce latte with no sweetener in it. And so my wife plays a pretty big role in our seasonal menu, and our shop manager. They spend a lot of time together, messing with flavors that I would never imagine should go into a cup of coffee, and then somehow it turns out really good and people have fun.
Yeah, so that is one thing I do love about Renegade is the variety you can get, not only just on the standard menu, but the seasonal menu as well. You walk in and, I don't know how often you actually change it, but it feels like often enough where you'll really never get bored. There's always something new to try if that's your thing. If you like the basic drip coffee, whatever, that's great too. If you like to get a little fancy or whatever, mix it up a little bit, which I typically do. It's a great way to enjoy coffee in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
Great.
And so, I mean, just thinking about Kansas City coffee scene in general, what are some of the other places you guys enjoy checking out or visiting? If you have time to get to other coffee shops, I know that's probably a tall task too. But
boy, I'm going to butcher the name. So I live in Merriam, Kansas, which is on the other side of the river. And there's a little shop over there called Solano Coffee. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's in an old commercial space, just tucked in an office park back there. And it's some guys that just started it. I think they're only about a year old and they're just crushing it back there. Just sort of tucked themselves in. It's just a really neat space. And they're doing a good job trying to make coffee taste good. So that's my favorite spot.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't get out much other place. I'm thinking of some good coffee I've had. Split Log was a place I really enjoyed. So I guess I'll give them a shout out.
Definitely. Yeah, Split Log's great.
If you could open a second location anywhere, let's just look down the road and dream. Where in the city do you think you might land? Any idea?
I'd love the Liberty Old House.
The
problem is that you need to be on a busy street as well. Those are kind of tucked away.
Yeah.
I love the old. It'd have to be a house, but it have to be accessible.
I'd like an old house in Merriam.
There you go. Your commute would be a heck of a lot shorter.
No, I think both of us are on the same page. Somewhere sort of Liberty direction, but we're not looking. We're not active.
And you guys do have like a catering kind of side, right? Where you've got like a coffee cart that will go out and do events. Is that right?
We do. Yeah, that's really how we got started. Is it's a cart that goes out and does weddings and corporate events and I don't know, birthday parties and bridal showers and stuff like that. It's a setup. It's about this big, about this wide, and a little bit taller. And a couple of baristas will go out and make whatever, and pretty much anything we can make back here, they can make on site somewhere.
Yeah, very cool.
It stays pretty active, a couple events a month.
What's been the most kind of unexpected challenge you guys faced, other than ADA stuff, probably to get the shop open and to kind of keep it sustained as you move on?
To get it open is just, we didn't understand the process.
Yeah.
The city is very complicated. We got this place rezoned. It was residential.
Yep.
And we thought once we got that done, we're home free. We announced the grand opening and everything, and then found out the week of there was a whole nother process we didn't know about.
Yeah.
We had to go down that path to get the building itself, the occupancy license done. And we just didn't know.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
we just had to kind of figure it out as we went, and it took a long time.
For sure.
And then that next step was, I think both of us, and maybe in my mind, naively, when we sort of planned this out, we were planning for kind of one employee at a time. Our ideal day was, like, if we hit 100, or I've seen this before, our goal was like, if we could somehow manage to sell 120 drinks in a Saturday, we were crushing it. And so then, a year in, when we started feeling the line out the door, like sometimes on Saturday mornings, the door is propped open and there are people standing outside. It's become a whole nother logistical thing and financial thing to find a way to be profitable, or to try and be profitable, as there's a line out the door, because now there's 3 people behind the counter. And something, I know this is goofy, but it's the thing I talk about the most often. We started off with thrift store chairs, right? Like, we can save some money by buying chairs at the thrift store. And then suddenly we realized, man, we have to replace those every 2 weeks. And so now we're buying $300 chairs. And like, how many cups of coffee do you have to sell to make a $300 chair worth it? And so, that's been a real challenge. Is like,
for sure.
Now there's 3 people behind the bar, and now there's a $300 chair. And how do we still function, and how do we make this make money?
Yeah. I mean, as somebody who's also opened businesses in Kansas City, I'll never forget sitting through kind of our inspections as we were trying to get open and everything. And the guy doing our inspection said, if you can open a business in Kansas City, the business anywhere. And I was like, I think this is pretty telling of the structure that the guy who's supposed to be in charge of whether I can open my business or not is telling me it's impossible to do. I mean, kudos to you guys for, one, taking the idea to fruition, but also actually getting the door open and, kind of sustaining that business for going on 3 years now, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you think the future of Renegade is, if you had to map it out? And we don't want to give out expansion. We don't want you to give away all your secrets, but if you had to say, what does Renegade look like in 5 years?
No.
Or maybe just a kind of a special project that you think might be fun to pull off.
Well, we have some thoughts about the side, building out seating, like a whole extend the porch on the side.
Yeah.
To get more seating there, maybe with some awning to make it more weatherproof, and maybe an outbuilding. And definitely the first thing, if we get some money, is parking.
Yeah.
So put more pavement out there and extend it out to make it easier to back in and out of the spots.
My dream is to expand that parking lot and have an outbuilding back there where he could roast kind of with a little bit bigger space, but also where some groups could meet. So like, if you said, hey, we want to have a co-working day, or, a WeWork day where it could be rented out, or if there was a small group that wanted to do a book study or something, they could just reserve that space and use it. That's the vision. That's the dream. There's a lot of details that go into getting the city to let us do an outbuilding. And we started that conversation, and I called one contractor. He's like, this little slant up the hill, that adds a 0 to your project. I'm like, there's no hill. I don't know what you're talking about. What hill? So, just learning those. Yeah.
The little things that can make a big difference. You start to kind of plan things out.
So I'd say that's it right now. Some more seating, just to give people more space, and then
more
eventually parking.
Chairs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, I think we both occasionally laugh about expanding, but we're not seriously looking, right? We're really trying to find a way to make this thrive.
Definitely.
That's incredible.
Well, we appreciate just what the role that Renegade fills in the community, I think, and seeing small businesses that are ready to plug in and help support what's going on around them, and brings a really great product to the community and help create relationships among people, I think is really, really cool. I think Renegade does that really well.
For us. And this is the go-to place whenever we're meeting with people or just need to grab a coffee out, this is the place we go. So
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate
this has
that.
been Renegade has been just a huge part of our kind of story over the last few years. So
Definitely.
stay alive. Yeah, stay alive.
Yeah.
Enjoying getting to come in and hang out and meet everybody. It's almost impossible to walk in here and joke and not see at least 2 or 3
Seriously. Seriously.
So if I ever really want to get work done, I probably should.
Yeah, probably not here.
Because I do find myself just talking to everybody that I can run into. But yeah, we've really enjoyed our time at Renegade here.
Well, are you guys ready for rapid fire?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Make sure to do it.
Yeah, cool. So first up, kind of go to barbecue spot, and then when you get there, what do you order?
I'm Burn-In's Barbecue. Burn-In's Barbecue. My go-to is Burn-In's.
Where?
What spot?
What?
What spot?
No, so the restaurant is called
Oh,
Burn-In's
Burn-In's,
Barbecue.
okay.
Yeah, it's a PB&J restaurant. It used to be way out south. You know, again, I'm not just a Northland guy, so it used to be way out south, and they just moved out to like Lansing or Leavenworth or something like that. It's owned by the same company that owns Yaya's, which is I'm not eating there, but it's amazing Burn-In's. Great French fries and Burn-In's. So that's my backup would be Gates. I like Gates beef on bun with spicy. That's my backup.
It's hard to beat the nooner. So.
Yeah.
I like Smokehouse just down the road here,
Okay.
and I love their burn-ins and their baked beans.
That's
Yeah.
a Northland
sure-
staple.
I'm sure being so close, it's probably really hard not to go every day.
Oh, it smells great. When
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. I feel like it's rare to learn of a new barbecue spot we don't know about. So
Honestly, that's
Yeah,
new one
check
for the
it
list.
out.
It's
Yeah.
great.
the other one. Add that to the list.
That's right. That's awesome.
And then what do you think is one of your favorite kind of Kansas City traditions? Obviously, grown up here. So what is something that maybe from your childhood or maybe you've been able to do with your own family that you really enjoyed?
So this is weird, but like ice skating at Crown Center, and then the what is that place called? I just blanked on the name of it. It's like the Crown Center thing for kids. I have a lot of memories of doing that as a kid. What is that called?
Is it Kaleidoscope?
Kaleidoscope.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Kaleidoscope. Just a lot of fun memories of that, and try to do that every couple of years. I know that's a goofy one, but that's one for me. Is
That's a good one.
ice skating down there and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaleidoscope.
Shakespeare in the Park would be one. We go
okay.
there every year on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just love it. It's always great quality.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
Those are both good answers that we don't hear very often. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's great.
It's nice to have a little more variety of that. And then a hidden gem, maybe you can't besides Renegade. In the city that you think maybe more people should know about.
Well, it's not going to be a coffee shop. I don't want to say that.
Can't do that.
The Italian grocery store in the River Market would be my,
Yep.
it's just tucked in the River Market, and there is no better sub than the Italian grocery store in the River Market.
Yep.
I think the Line Creek Trail is a jewel of the Northland. So long as we have it, anyway, it's a great place to kind of get away through the woods. And I've jogged along that trail so many times. I think that's something that not everybody knows about, but I think it's a real treasure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's been cool to see all the expansion work that's gone into that over the years. How
Mhm.
it started and you couldn't go very far. And then obviously they have the plan to take it, I think, all the way to Riverside. Yeah, just to see that grow and expand, it's been really cool.
Mhm.
How, if you had to pick any other part of the, I know you're in Miriam, right? So if you had to pick any other part of Kansas City to live in, where would you land?
For me, it's Smithville.
So we'll get you up in the north end.
Yeah,
We'll get you this way.
I just like the little bit more space, and
Yeah.
I don't need the
yeah.
lake, but yeah,
I was going to say the same. Not the lake, not necessarily Smithville, but further north. Just like you say, kind of more room, more elbow room.
Yeah.
In a little country. I think that'd be good.
Definitely.
That's what I like about the Northland. Anyhow, it seems less congested than south. So the
Definitely.
further north you go, even more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then running a coffee shop, you probably don't get a lot of free Saturdays, but if you do, how are you spending your free Saturday in Kansas City?
my ideal free Saturday would be like Watkins Mill State Park, Shawnee Mission Lake. If it's not beautiful weather, I like going to the River Market. I mean, that's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
I love taking hikes, whether it be Watkins Mill or Parkville is a nice nature sanctuary. It's hiking, getting out in the woods. That's what I enjoy.
So if people want to get connected with you, maybe on social media or on other platforms, what's kind of a good way to connect with you guys?
Best way to connect with us is probably Instagram,
Yeah.
Renegade KC. Just follow us on there. Let's keep up with what's going on. The new drinks coming out. when there's bad weather and we have to close early, or when there's bad weather and we're announcing that we're open even though the rest of the city's closed. That's the best way to get in contact with us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if you haven't had a chance to check out Renegade, seriously, you need to. They make a great cup of coffee and are a really great staple now in the Kansas City community. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and having this conversation. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.